but with such powerful platforms, and for the honor done me by the planning committee to be your guest speaker for this year's edition. I share this honor with every senior nurse, midwife, policymaker, educator, and mentor in this room. You are the builders of people, and today you are the builders of legacy. And to the youth present, this is your day. But more importantly, let this be your decade. Own it. Today, in this moment, we celebrate International Youth Day. You gather as young nurses and midwives of this country, and our charge is to lift your eyes beyond the ward and into the wide horizon of a destiny that is possible. So why are we here today? Across the world, youth make up about 16% of the global population aged between 15 to 24 years. In Ghana, nearly 38% of our population is considered youth. This is not just a demographic fact, but it's also a demographic advantage, and we must harness it. But here is the warning. Potential unused is potential lost. The clock is ticking, and the world will not wait for us to get ready. In the words of John Legend, ours is a generation that cannot afford to wait. The future began yesterday, and we are already late. We must embrace this call with a certain impatient zeal to rise and do more. Proverbs 20 verse 29 says, the glory of young men, and I'll add a footnote, and women, is their strength, and the splendor of old men and women is their gray hair. Youth is not just about having time ahead, it's also about how that time is wisely used now, so that when the gray hair comes, you would have something splendid to show. The theme for today's International Youth Day celebration calls us to empower the youth for a sustainable future. Empowerment, ladies and gentlemen, is not just handing over power, but it is the lighting of the spark of purpose in someone. It is the teaching them to steward it with skill, with wisdom, and with heart. Empowerment means moving from potential to purpose, from being seen to being heard, from waiting for the future to becoming the future. And what does sustainability mean? It's not just about green economies and enduring policies. It's about nurturing values that outlive us. It's about discipline, innovation, courage, and compassion. So let's empower not just for employment, let's empower for leadership. Let's empower for legacy. And when I look around this room, I see a bright future of many leaders who will be rising to fill those places. Why is this call for empowerment urgent? I want you to consider this with me briefly. The World Bank reports that Africa's working age population will grow by 450 million people by 2035. In Ghana, over 250,000 young people enter the job market each year but only a fraction of them are able to secure formal employment. And that includes many nurses and midwives. Technology is rewriting the rules of work. The skills in demand today may be obsolete in the next 5 to 10 years. The call to empower youth is therefore not just a poetic rhetoric, it is pragmatic. Ghana's youth make up over half of the population, yet many feel sidelined in policy making, mentorship, and opportunity creation. In the health sector, hundreds of young nurses and midwives finish school with purpose in their hearts, but frustration is laid in their paths. The world is changing fast, Mr. Chair. Digital disruption, global migration, public health crisis, climate emergencies, and nurse and midwife attrition. These are not just future problems, they are now challenges and require next-gen solutions. The truth is, we cannot build a future with tired systems and recycled leadership alone. This decade will decide whether, as young nurses and midwives, you will be mere employees of the system or you will be the architects of its future. And the architects of this future must start drawing the plans from today. So what is it that the older generation can do for the next gen leaders when we talk about empowerment? I have a triple mandate to leave for the older generation that are here with us and also listening online. The triple mandate is to equip and trust and elevate the young ones. What does equip mean? Equip them with skills, not just degrees. Leadership skills, communication skills, negotiation skills, emotional intelligence, values, financial management, project management, research methods, implementation science, vocational skills, tech skills. What does entrust mean? Give young people real responsibility. Put them in decision-making tables. Let them lead projects and provide safety nets and not just straight jackets. And finally, what do we do when we say elevate? Let's elevate them. Let's celebrate their efforts, not just their outcomes. Recognize young nurses and midwives who are leading felt change in their hospitals, in their schools, and in their communities. And let's support them to explode. Let's create intentional mentoring pipelines where those who have done it show those who are following how it is done so that we can accelerate their development. Speak life into them and correct them privately. When we equip and trust and elevate, we are not just doing the youth a favor, we are doing our collective future a favor. Because an empowered nurse or midwife, in my view, is a strategic asset for national development when deployed effectively. Think with me, for example, in the corners of this nation, in the parched places and those that are referred to as overseas, where there is that lone nurse and midwife who is the only professional who serves a large community in CHIPS compounds and health posts. If that nurse is empowered, if that midwife is empowered, she can empower that community beyond just the provision of health care. She can engage its women in vocational skills training, offer trade advice to those in the marketplace, and mentor young girls and boys in that community. She would be an asset to this country. Imagine with me a GRNMA Institute of Leadership and Service, where marketplace skills are taught and young professionals certified. A hub for raising radically different breed of executive and polished nurses and midwives who are leading diverse social causes, running systems, and leading change beyond patients, pills, and pains. There must be more stories like that of Naomi Oyo-Ohene Oti, the Ghanaian nurse oncologist who won the prestigious 2025 Aster Guardians Global Nursing Award for exceptional dedication and expertise in oncology nursing, particularly for her work in breast cancer awareness, early detection, and patient empowerment. But do we have an intentional mail for creating many more of such global winners? The challenge is to us, the older generation. But as we challenge the older generations to these triple responsibilities, the young ones, we also have commitments. And I share with you 3 commitments for any young person who wants to be empowered for a sustainable future. The first commitment you have to have is a commitment to excellence in execution. Excellence is not just an art, ladies and gentlemen. It is a habit. It is doing ordinary things in extraordinary ways. Whether it is inserting of a cannula, the counseling of a patient, or the presenting of a ward meeting report. Ask yourself, anytime you do the mundane things of life, can you do it with such excellence that you will be remembered when you say thank you? Excellence comes from discipline. The showing up fully prepared. The being disciplined and being on time. The attitude and attention to detail. It's missing in many of the young generation of today. And many old people rule giving us opportunities because they say that we will mess it up. I want us in this room to be that difference. It is also in accountability, submitting to guidance of one who has walked the path ahead. It is seeking mentorship, not just money. And ladies and gentlemen, excellence in execution is a best or nothing attitude. They say in the West, you either go big or you go home. Refusing mediocrity even in the smallest of tasks. Take it as a World Cup. Let every chat, every patient, every duty reflect dignity and devotion. Let mediocrity offend you. In your ward, your work and your walk, bring your best or bring nothing. Remember Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all of your heart, working for the Lord and not for human masters. What is the second commitment? The second commitment I'm challenging you to is being ethical in your engagement. So number 1 was what? Excellence in execution. Number 2 is what? Ethical in your engagements. Sustainability is impossible without integrity. Ethics is not just about avoiding wrong. It is about choosing the greater good consistently. In an era of quick fixes and shortcuts, your ethics will be tested. So I ask you, dear nurse or midwife listening this morning, will you document the truth or just what is convenient? Will you choose long-term trust over short-term gain? Will you stand for the patient dignity even when no one is watching? When shortcuts tempt you, remember this. Your conscience is a compass. So don't trade it for convenience. Can we say that together? My conscience is my compass, so I won't trade it for convenience. Let's say it together. My conscience is my compass, so I won't trade it for convenience. Proverbs 10 verse 9 says, whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out. Choose integrity over personal interest. Let your decisions be for the greater good, not just for private gain. Run from scams, schemes, and systems of greed. They will always end in premium tears. The world would applaud a quick win, but only legacy remembers the faithful steward. And our final point for commitment for the youth is to be entrepreneurial in thinking. Entrepreneurial in thinking. Let's see if we are all in the room. Number one was? Number two? And number three? Entrepreneurial in thinking. Entrepreneurship is not just about starting a business. It's about having wisdom to see opportunities where there are obstacles. Proverbs 8 verse 12 says, I, wisdom, dwell together with prudence. I possess knowledge and discretion. So don't wait to be chosen. I want you to commit from today, young person, to choose to start. Turn your talents into tools. Trade your sweat into services that add value. Sell your ideas. Build side ventures. Be bold solutions, not just spectators. For nurses and midwives, this might mean coming up with innovative, patient-centered digital health interventions, designing community outreach programs, starting health-focused social enterprises, and on and on and on. An entrepreneurial mindset keeps you relevant, resilient, and resourceful. Listen, my dear colleagues, you were not just made to clock in and out. You were made to create. The sustainable future needs creators, not just consumers. And there are many of us who are big-time data consumers of other people's content on TikTok and other social media handles. It's not bad, but as you consume, know that somebody is profiting. And you too can be the one making that profit. So how do you sustain this fire of empowerment and sustainability? My first recommendation for those who start and those who have started already, those who make the pledge to begin from today, is that adopt a culture of broad lifelong learning. The day you stop learning is the day you start to expire. So I encourage all of you to develop what a good friend of mine told me many years ago, to build a T personality. That T, professional personality, you know how we write the T, the vertical, the horizontal bar, and then a vertical bar. For every professional, having broad learning looks like that. That in the area of your training, you are very deep. You go vertically, very deep. But in the area of general life applications, you should also know fairly a bit so that you add the bar to the T. You should not just know about medicine and lack financial literacy skills. Because the truth of the matter is that no matter how much you are paid, if you don't know who you owe, where your money goes, and how much you own, you would end up so broke that your poverty will be spelled PO, P-O, because you can't afford the rest of the letters. So, lifelong learning beyond your core area of training. You can leave school, but never leave learning. In the words of Alvin Toffler, he says that the future belongs to those who can learn, unlearn, and relearn. What are you learning lately? Learn, acquire new skills daily. Link, connect what you learn to the real world, and leverage. Use learning to solve problems and create value. So lifelong learning, but also build networks. Let your net worth be in your career. Let your network in your career be in a network of trusted peers and mentors. And what must you finally do to keep this sustainable? Balance all of this with self-care. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So safeguard your physical and emotional and spiritual health. There are many who run through life without a break, without a pause, without a care to stand and take a break, to check their own blood pressures and their sugar levels, to have an annual health screen. And we know of countless stories of our colleagues who have suffered many debilitating ailments because they just put their life on green means go, 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 go. Learn to take a stop and a pause and observe balanced self-care. In closing, Mr. Chair, I want to leave us with a call to action. Young nurses and midwives of Ghana, you are not just the future, you are the fierce present that will shape the future. And so, if you see yourself only as a nurse or a midwife, you may miss the wider destiny that awaits you. You are more than your profession. You are a bundle of vast potential. The future is not just waiting for someone. You are that someone. Turn to your neighbor and say, you are that someone you are waiting for. And if you apply these 3 commitments that we have shared today, I can assure you that in this room here, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, we'll be met here or elsewhere and celebrating many great people. Some of you here will become groundbreakers, starting new things where they didn't exist. Some of you here will become chart breakers, toppling old records and setting new ones of your own. Some of you here will become cycle breakers, ending negative patterns in your families, in your workplace, and in your society. And some of you here, I dare say, will become cloud breakers, shattering glass ceilings, rising above the normal limits of your community and gaining global recognition and acclaim. And I pray that that will be your portion. Amen. So in closing, ladies and gentlemen, I declare that the future does not begin tomorrow. It begins with every choice we make today. So may we plant boldly and water wisely and harvest legacies that will not decay. As we mark this International Youth Day, may our empowerment be real. May Ghana rise on the wings of her young, and may we play our part in making that rise sustainable. May your hands bring true healing. May your words bring hope. May your lives be and ultimately just keep leading. May God bless you. God bless the GRNMA, and God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you.